All right, welcome back to Build Your Legacy Insurance Edition podcast. Today is a special day. We have a special guest in here. And before I introduce him, I want to kind of set the stage for what we're going to talk about and why we're going to talk about this. We're on episode 40-something or another, and we started at the beginning of the podcast talking about SIA of North Carolina. And since the start, when we talked about SIA of North Carolina, we started building in how SIA of North Carolina can help agencies, the different programs we have, different compensation, the relationship side of things. We've hit a lot of different factors. And what we haven't done is kind of talked about the foundation and SIA Group and its involvement in why SIA Group partnered with SIAA. In the studio we have, and for those of you that have been in the industry a while, you hopefully have heard of SIA Group, and you may have heard of my dad, Don Mills. And so Don's been in the industry since the late 1970s, is the president of SIA Group, and we wanted to welcome him to the studio for the first time here in Jacksonville.
Hard to get somebody my age to start getting into a podcast, but thank you. I appreciate it.
So give us a little background for those that don't know you, or maybe those that even have heard of you or met you at a company function or things like that. Maybe a little background.
I came in right after college. I graduated college in end of 1978, started in January of 79. And at that point, I was the third employee of SIA Group.
Okay.
We were primarily a spinoff of my father's real estate agency. At that point, he had helped get it started, and it was to write homeowners insurance for the homes they sold. When I came in, I tried to create a little bit different vision, and we started trying to grow on our own. Later in the 90s, we started getting faced with some things that a lot of things were changing in our marketplace. Today, things are constantly changing. But what was really happening was a lot of our peer group were starting to sell out. The banks were getting very aggressive at buying independent insurance agencies, and I knew I did not want to sell. And so I started really trying to evaluate, well, why would people sell? Because when I talked to people, they generally said the best day they had was when they sold to the bank. The worst day was the day they went to work for the bank, and they had no control anymore. So when I started trying to evaluate why did they do it, obviously for some people it was maybe getting the money. Some, they were ready to retire, but some were my age at that time too. And they were, just, I think, a little confused. So I started trying to look at different things that could allow us to really hit the vision of what we wanted to become. And I guess it was in the late 90s, probably in I think 1999, we joined SIAA. And part of the thing that we did is we went through a lot of due diligence and trying to evaluate why did we pick this one. We did look at the carriers that they were aligned with. But the one thing that was underlined that was hard to really communicate was they had, every time I met with Tom Barrett, who was our person with SIAA, he emphasized their mission, which was committed to the independent insurance agencies platform. They wanted to help independent agencies. So with that, you would have carriers. You had a different level of clout in the marketplace. You had operational support. You had some enhanced compensation. They were committed to having people in each marketplace, but they allowed us to run our own agencies the way we wanted to run them. Anytime we raised our hands, they were there to be able to help or answer questions, but I saw this as the vehicle to help us hit our growth that we wanted to hit. At that point, Bill, I think we were about 40 employees.
Okay. Yeah, we get that question quite a bit. So when Travis and I are in here and we see things, we are starting to get a lot of different agencies talking with us. And I do believe over the past 10, 12 years, it seems like we've helped a lot of people start up.
Yep.
From being a producer or being with a captive side, started independent agency, because I would agree, we are committed to independent agency channel. We want to grow that independent agency channel. But now we're getting bigger agencies that are looking, entertaining, asking questions. And I thought this was a perfect time to get you in to talk about how big was SIA Group, which you already said. We were under 50 employees. We were big then, especially when you talk about 1999. We're still reaping the benefits of the SIAA relationship, and the SIA model is only improved for us.
Absolutely.
But the core principles to what you just said are still very much intact with the independent agency. It was the creation and the dedication and the evolution of the independent agents.
The foundation's the same. It's enhanced.
Yeah.
Multiples and multiples of times. Now we're at about 120 employees. We have some of the same challenges everybody does today with hybrid employees and markets. A big change today is the carriers are forcing more and more work back on the agencies. That didn't happen in the 90s. The carriers, you would fax an application to them. So things have changed a lot.
Now there's uploads and downloads, and it's certainly, thankfully, automation is helping, which we talk about a bit too with agents, because that's evolving too. Is they're putting more work back on us. Thankfully, this InsurTech world has, I think, found some niches to be able to help independent agents better versus take away from independent agents, because we've needed the help because of the carriers pushing things back to us.
With automation comes change, and you've got to be able to adapt to that. It also comes analytics to help you evaluate different things that are going on. You use it a lot. Unfortunately, I don't use it as well as I should, but as long as we have people that do it.
Yeah, and I think we have good peers to bounce things, across of. And the more employees you have, we are fortunate that maybe I can do things one way, you do things another way, so we can team off of each other. Mm-hmm. Somebody that has 20 employees may not have some of the same luxuries. They're still going to have good luxuries. But there are peers, and we do a good job, I believe, of communicating with them, opening up our doors for our partners to come in and go, okay, let's talk to you and let's help you out as well.
Well, even when we started, I've always said part of the thing I want to do is have an open door.
You may have opened yourself up here saying that on a podcast.
Honestly, that's part of the thing. We want to give back
for sure
to the independent agency system, because I'm very thankful for what we've been able to achieve, and I think we're still at the cusp of where we can go. And there's no question we could not have got here to this point today had we not made that investment back in 1999.
What's the best thing that you see happen because of the relationship with SIAA?
It allowed us to collaborate with a lot of people that allowed us to change our vision so that we could grow. Number one, I guess I'd have to say, is dollars, because it takes dollars to grow.
Yeah.
And we have invested thousands of dollars and reaped millions of dollars in return. And we've used a lot of that to fuel our growth. And we wouldn't have had it otherwise.
Yeah, and so when you say that, I just want to make sure everybody's clear here. When the investment and the return is coming, it's coming from the insurance carriers. These are the enhanced compensations coming to SIA Group because of the insurance carrier relationships that we had before, maybe gained access to because of SIA, because we picked up markets because of SIAA and continue to pick up markets because of SIAA. And what they pay us and compensate us on our 5 tiers of compensation that Travis has talked about, and SIA Group is definitely in that mix for earning those. Yeah. Is there a different reason why they should join, or is it the same reasons you've always hit?
Well, I think if they want to invest in their agency and they want to look at the next chapter in the agency and they want to perpetuate their agency, they should definitely talk to you.
I think that's the point is, if people entertain it and at least have the conversation, we're not for everybody. And we'll say that, and Travis is perfect. And you and I have always said, it's got to be a win-win. If it's not a win-win, we're going to be the first ones to say it, because a one-sided relationship just doesn't work.
That's true in anything.
That's right. So we look at it and go, is it worth uncovering and have a conversation? We think so. And I thought this was a good time to bring in why SIA Group did it and the size the size that we've gotten to. So people understand there's really no limits with what we have to offer at SIA North Carolina and SIAA.
If you don't want to grow, this may not be the best model for you.
Well, it may not, but you've made a comment of perpetuation. It may help put them in a different position if they want to sell. There's so many other factors that do go in. Compensation is certainly a big one. You've pointed that out.
Yeah.
But we do believe we put people in a better position to go to the next level, whatever that next level may be.
Yeah, I agree.
So, well, thank you for coming in and
fun
conversation. And hope you all enjoyed. Thanks for tuning in. You can catch our Build Your Legacy Insurance Edition podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. Be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, or send us over a topic recommendation at podcast@siaofnc.com. If you're interested in learning more about what we do, visit us online at www.siaofnc.com. We hope you enjoyed our newest episode. See you next week.